The crafting system in Mission Control allows you to transform your lower rarity cards to higher rarity cards. Now, there's basically two reasons to do this. Number one is the crafting has a little bit more collection strength that you'll get out of the craft if you do it successfully. There's also a potential for a critical success craft, meaning that 2 of the higher rarity base cards are going to be outputted, basically meaning you more than double your collection strength for the craft. And then the other reason is the higher rarity your cards, the more resistance they have to hazards. So you don't have to worry quite as much about damage if you have higher rarity cards. So I'm just looking at the Mission Control documentation. You can actually see the different crafting odds for base cards, which we're going to go through first. It is also possible to craft ownership and sponsorship cards, but these require parts. And this is a bit more of an advanced crafting system for more experienced players. So what we're going to do is go over to my collection, which you can navigate to on the collection page in the navigation. And then you can see here there's a crafting button. So what I'm going to do is press that, and it shows me all of the recipes in this list here. But I'm just going to click this toggle, and there's one recipe that I can craft based on my collection, and that is taking 6 standard fuel plants and transforming that into a shadow fuel plant. Now there's a 60% chance that this will be a successful craft. There's a 20% chance that I'll get 2 shadow fuel plants out, and then there's a 20% chance of failure, meaning that my cards go away, and that's kind of the risk reward here. So let's give it a shot. We're going to craft this recipe for 10 Marcia, and then what I need to do is select 6 cards out of all my mints to put into the recipe. Typically I try to go for higher mint numbers. Okay, so I just selected 6. You can see here it now says 6. If I don't have 6, it just gives me that little progress bar. Now I'm going to sign the transaction. And the cards go into the vortex. And let's see what we get. Awesome. Okay, so I got a successful craft, and my 6 standard fuel plants got transformed into this 1 shadow fuel plant. So that's how you craft, and you can do this with all of the cards that are eligible crafts in this menu. And the next thing I wanted to go over is salvaging. So this is a collection that's a bit more advanced. There's more collection strength, and salvaging is the process of crafting a high rarity card, like a dark matter, into parts. And parts are important because they allow you to craft ownership and sponsorship cards, and eventually high rarity base cards. So what I'm going to do is find a salvaging recipe by scrolling down. And you can see here, I have 3 fission reactors, dark matter fission reactors available. And if I salvage this dark matter reactor, I have this. These parts are what I would get back, or I get basically 1 part with this chance. So I'm going to select this fission reactor, and again, I will get 1 of these parts, and it looks like there's a high chance for it to be a metal alloy, low chance for a nuclear reactor. So let's see what we get. I'm going to go ahead and sign this transaction. And the dark matter card goes into the vortex. Alright, and we got a coolant system part back. So again, this part is used in the crafting recipes for ownership cards or high rarity cards. And you can actually look at the salvaging here and how it works. And then the crafting recipes are in the documentation as well. So as you can see, I just made a coolant system with my dark matter card, and if I go down here I can see there's potentially so the field laboratory, for instance, it uses 4 coolant systems, 6 composite materials, 7 composting units, 6 microprocessors, 1 nuclear reactor. So these are the parts that you would need to craft an ownership card field laboratory. So that's how to both salvage high rarity cards into parts as well as craft higher rarity base cards.